Hey guys, this is SF and welcome to Random Talk Sundays. This week I'll be farming Mr. Nabe, and basically that's pretty much it. But basically there's not much to talk about in terms of news wise. I did talk a little bit during this Daisy stream a little bit, but I guess the first one is from JP is Genghis Kong. Mr. Genghis Kong, the new Transcension. And not bad. He's not crazy OP. He is very strong, but I think in my prediction, I think he'll be set off to the wayside. Just for his original impression of him not being a very good monster, even though he is very strong now. He has both no gravity bear, no damage wall, Paladin Slayer. Bump combo is Plasma, sub bump is lock on rebound, and then strike shot is command strike shot 12 plus 12. Like, just that is very, very strong, but I don't know, it's kind of like Mika, right? Or Micah, or Mika. I think it's Michael, so Micah. Micah was never good in before her Transcension. Now she's really good with her Transcension. Even so, she's not used that much. Of course, there's a lot of replaceables, and there's not much dungeons that would need both nulls except for maybe Shambhala. But even with Shambhala, there is Noma that can deal more damage, Kimiko that can deal more damage, that's more viable in that dungeon. Same thing with Genghis Kong, although Genghis Kong does have the Slayer for Yamato Takeru, but Yamato Takeru is pretty easy that you don't really need Genghis Kong. Like, even though before his Transcension he is a very strong monster for Yamato Takeru, nobody used him. They would go for Hunter King, they would go for Apollo X, and even Robin Hood when he was out. So I don't think people will switch over, in my opinion. Maybe just for hey, cool test run, but I think everybody will revert back to the Hunter Kings because they can one shot, Robin Hood can one shot, and the added extra no damage wall is for safety reasons. Plasma is not like the higher ups in terms of players will probably don't really care about the Plasma that much for damage. They would just go for pinches, and Hunter King and Apollo X deals less stressful, easier to position damage in general. So other than that, he's not good for the new Colossal, which is Penglai, because he is a bounce monster and not a pierce monster. Even though he is a no damage wall, he's good for Bishop Mode 10 because he can deal with just command strike shot and then everything dies type of thing. But I don't know. If you have him, then he's really good, right? But he's more but that's only if you don't have Hunter King, if you don't have Robin Hood, if you don't have Gabby, if you don't have Nightingale, if you don't have Apollo X. The chances of that are relatively slim if you play JP, in my opinion. The possibility of you having Genghis Kong, aka you roll an Elemental Hatcher, and if you having a chance of not having those Legends or Guardians exclusives, the chances of that are really slim, because Wood Hatcher, you don't roll for anything in the Wood Hatcher if you're normal, unless you're a collector, because you probably won't roll for dead rabbits unless you have all the monsters. So that's why you probably won't get Genghis Kong either, but you will roll for Legends and Guardians regularly for, Gabby, Lucy, Pandora, Nightingale, Robin Hood. So I don't know. He's going to be in the top 10 best wood monsters, but he's more like like there's just better monsters out there, and like I said, there's not many dungeons that you will need both no gravity bear and no damage wall at the same time. And even if they do, then kind of like Shambhala with Micah, you just have like better slayers in Roma in the fire department, and then for the wood department you have Nightingale and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't have him, so maybe he'll pop up in my friend list and he comes out next week. I don't even know what other dungeons he's good for, like Yamato Takeru, Bisho Mountain. You can probably bring him to Doom, but you might want no warps for that. But we will see. Ooh, it's boss time already. I totally forgot. I'm going so fast I don't remember which stage I am. I've been talking too much. Well, not that much. It's only been a few minutes. And Kushinada. Ooh, that power up, and I am just going to roll with it. I don't care. I'll probably get a ton of damage dealt to me. And I think I died. I think I died. Yep, I died. Okay, note to self, not don't push stretch out with all the counters up. And it's not just because of the boss's counter, it's more of the smudger counters. Well, you know, that was the risk I took, and I was just like, screw it. Screw risk. Just go ham. And I guess that's one of the reasons why this guy is the least have the least luck on out of all the event monsters. Although this is the second session, but even so, like first session of Mikumo, this was like 10 minutes before this video started. I got 40, I think around 50, and Mikumo was not that bad. What's the other guy's name? Shishimaru, I'm almost done. I just need a few more. And then this guy is only at like 30 off of a 3-hour session last time. Well, it wasn't 3 hours, it was like I farmed for like 2 hours. But still. This dungeon is probably longer than most the other two, in my opinion. Just because you have to be really careful about the counters. Or you can just go ham and then die like what I just did. Like lately I just don't really care about the monsters themselves. It's just a matter of stacking max luck, because I'm pretty sure they're gonna add more max lucks once they're, I will say, their break point, I guess. Like when they feel like this amount of people have 95 max luck, then they will add in more. So I'm at 150 something. I'm nearing 160, I think. After this series, I'm probably like 156 or 7, and then we'll go from there. And Epoca, gonna take some laser damage. Not that bad for now, I would say. As for NA, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have finished Daisy. I'm slowly farming it, let's just say that, when I have time, because sometimes I do get burnt out from JP. Like, this is my 4th hour of the day, and this is only 10 AM in the morning for me. So for a normal person, that's crazy. Even if you just farm NA, most of the time you probably won't play 4 hours a day. Some might when there's a new series, you know, with Kai and Burieris up, you might go for 6 hours. You might go for 6 hours per day, but you know, that's only for like a couple of days. Now, like for me, it's like constant 4 or 5 blocks, and I hardly get any breaks. And if I do, I'll be doing other stuff with Monster Strike related, either doing videos or doing strike shot stuff. I don't know, like, what's the best way to not get burnt out? I guess like having fun with the game is the best way to not get burnt out, because it sounds like I'm not having fun. I am having fun. It's like me and Monster Strike is like, it's all about satisfaction, right? For me, like these types of games is I don't play it for entertainment. It's more for the satisfaction. Like I'm pretty sure a lot of people, like, it's fun to play it because, you know, it's strategic, it's all the monsters look cool, all the particle effects and all that stuff are really cool. For me, it's just completing goals. So once I complete a goal, I feel achieved, and I'm happy like that. That's how I gain my satisfaction. Like that's how I have quote-unquote fun with the game, and that is achieving goals. Right now my goal is to just keep on trekking, stacking those max lux. And you know, like every single dungeon is relatively different, so that's fun in its own way. Like beating a different dungeon is always fun and satisfying. Like you have 2 counter dungeons, and counter dungeons were never really that introduced in Monster Strike, where you really have to take care of who has what counter and when that counter is gonna pop and how much damage it does. Like all of it is really different, and that's how that's fun. It's not because like most people don't like the game because some of the dungeons are really tedious and annoying, especially when you're trying for max luck. Like I'm pretty sure everybody hates this dungeon because it is super long. You can pretty much average 9 minutes per run, and that's not fun. But for me, it's like it is tedious and I do get annoyed, but once I finish I feel really relieved that it is done, so I don't have to do it again or actually play more than I need to. And the ending reward, of course, is a max luck, and although I do have a lot of max lucks, I'm pretty sure you're gonna have some use for it in the near future. And even if there's a better monster, I can always pick it out and roll with it, because most likely the max lux doesn't make that much of a difference unless you, especially when you just know the gimmicks and stuff like that. And then, you know, if I feel like a Nabe feeling today, then by all means I'm just gonna go and roll with that Nabe. Okay, 2 more turns. Let's strike shot just so that I have time. I'm pretty sure pushing out this plasma will be more than enough, but let's just be safe about it. Or I could have just Isis strike shot and heal up, but yeah, whatever. Wait, is it next one counter? I don't think so. So I can Rocket Raccoon and then Krishna strike shot. Oh, I guess there's these guys. I should take down one of these guys. I don't want to end up like like the last run. I think only one of them up. It should be okay. Now strike shot. I'm just gonna go side to side because Epica can proc Kush, and that is awesome. But yeah, now I'm like, for now I want to, I want to do some more streams, of course, with you guys, and hopefully I survive this. Okay. I did get some suggestions. I should just like berry farm with you guys for like an hour or so, and then that'll be really cool. And cool, Kushinada got the heart. pull Epoca and grab the heart, or grab the heart and then pull Epoca. So maybe I'll do that in the near future. I usually can't stream at nights, but only like afternoons and stuff like that, because at nights it gets a little bit busy for me. But if you're like, especially I guess like for people that are in other parts of the world, aka like Europe, it's nighttime when I stream at like afternoon. So maybe get those guys have a chance to like play. Of course, because most of the time, like the reason why Monster Strike does blocks, because they really focus on like session blocks, like 3-hour sessions and stuff like that, is because they want to, of course, make this game more more co-op centric. So if you have like a full day of extremes, like a full day block of extremes, then it's really hard to find players. I guess Daisy is a little bit of an exception because it is a new dungeon. But if you're going for like 24-hour blocks of Queen Butterfly, not everybody has max luck Queen Butterfly, but a lot of people have max luck Queen Butterfly, and finding that one or two people to farm or even run Queen Butterfly is kind of hard, especially when you're in different time zones. And of course, Monster Strike in NA is not that big like in JP. JP, you can probably find at least 2-3 people whether you're awake or asleep, no matter like AM or PM wise. But in Monster Strike, it's kind of hard because communities are pretty spread out as well. You know, there's ones that are only centric to only go to Reddit. There's some only for Discord, some only to Line, some only to Strict Shot. So it's kind of pull everybody together, because everybody has their own preference of what's the best way to co-op in terms of their platform, of their third-party platform. Of course, everybody wants to have it all in-game, so that's a little bit easy. But you know, there's a lot of problems with in-game stuff, because it's not about the stamina. I'm pretty sure they can like they can pull down the stamina thing if they really want to go in for the in-app multiplayer. But you know, not everybody knows how dungeons work, and they just bring a fire monster into a water monster, which is kind of common sense. But when you're playing games, you hardly do common sense unless you're unless you're a gamer. But not everybody is you know, a gamer, especially for these types of games, like, because app games have that, you know, any kind of app game is like Candy Crush type of mentality for the Western community. When you're in the Japanese community, like any other app game is kind of like Monster Strike type of game. So like everybody's like thought of the game is totally different. So that's why, like, when people in our side, in Western side, looks at Monster Strike and plays it like casually, then they just think that it's just like another Candy Crush type of game. You know, cool. I just go pull and then release, and then things go flying, and then people die. It's not like you know, when you really play Monster Strike and you get really into it. It's not like that. It's totally different. Like, it's more strategic. It's more like the experience, like the things you have to do in this game is more towards. It's more geared to, like, I wouldn't say a console game or a PC game, but it's more in that direction than in like a Candy Crush kind of. Direction, like, and it's not like Monster Strike really differentiates themselves when you compare it to like PvP mobile games, like, you know, Clash of Clans or something like that, or Clash Royale, or even Hearthstone when it's on mobile. because they already have like a background of what kind of game they are. But when you're a new game and nobody knows what, especially when your company doesn't make any like really big games that people know, then you know everybody would just think like their first impression of Monster Strike is just like another Candy Crush type of game. You know, you just pull, release, and then things happen, which is kind of sad, but that's the thing that we have to go through. And somehow all my strike zones are not even up. I guess 2 of mine are up, but Kushina's not up yet. So yeah, that's why. Long story short, that's why global like in-app multiplayer is never on, because nobody cares of what's good in that dungeon and actually trying to win the dungeon. They just want to pull, release, and see things fly. For most players, because I've seen like a ton of Jabaneros in that section of Monster Strike that will never be reopened, in my opinion. And that's to like Queen Butterfly or something like that. Okay, time to heal up. Nice heal. And I am going to okay, match shot. And I am going to push strike. Not the best. Kind of the best. Not really the best. And there's the counter. I'm just going to go hand with it because I have a lot of HP. And nobody's in range except for Epica, so yeah, there we go. But yeah, that's why they don't want to do 24-hour blocks, because it's really hard to grab people that actually wants to farm something. And of course, it really downgrades the value of the monster. Like, it's cool, like if you're a casual, you know, like Leah, Dax, who else is there? Chainbound Jack, Bootstrap Jack, Mist are really good monsters, but things that it kind of says that you're not a really hardcore player. I don't want to like offend anybody, but that's the perception of some of the, you know, the higher end players. And if you really want to get to end game type of thing, then you want to co-op with people that actually knows how to play the game to the very like angles of it. So that's why I've seen like line groups, you know, have this many max locks. That does not include Chainbound Jack, Bootstrap Jack, Reaper Jack, Leah, Dax, Cthulhu, like, because, you know, it doesn't say about your skill, right? And if you want to be good at the game, then you have to prove that you're good at the game. You know, clear tower. Tower has that title. You can show it to your friends, and say that you're good. If you don't, then you know. But if you don't, then you know you have to work on it. The only pet peeve that I have, the only pet peeve that I have with like people that want to be good at the game is, if you want to be good, then you have to work for it. That's the only pet peeve. I don't really like people that complain, saying that I can't do this because I don't want to. I'm not saying that I don't want to, but it's like, I can do this. Like, let's say I play this dungeon, I can beat this dungeon, but I don't want to. How should I word it? But I think people know what I mean. Is like, I can beat this dungeon. I have like Epica, I have like Isis and all that. Like, let's say I have Isis. Like, I can bring Isis and she's a really good monster. One of the best monsters in the whole dungeon. But I don't want to play this dungeon even though I have an Isis, because I don't want to evolve my Isis. That's like why then why are you complaining that you want to like I guess like you have to complain that you want to beat this dungeon, but if you complain that you can't beat this dungeon but you do have an Isis, and the only reason why you don't bring an Isis because you don't want to evolve Isis to the 5-star form, that's like, why? What's the point of complaining, right? So that's my only pet peeve, right? Like, if you're gonna complain, then if you want to do something, you have to work for it. You have to actually do something about it. But if you can't do something about it, then don't complain that you like. If you can do something about it, then don't complain about that. You just don't want to do it, type of thing. I'm really bad at really explaining this, but you know, I think people know what I mean. It's just really frustrating. just reading those comments, because I can't help you if you don't want to do anything. Like, I want to beat this dungeon, but I don't want to actually try and beat this dungeon. It's like, then what's the point of complaining? Because you already know the answer to your problem, but you just don't want to use that answer to answer your problem. Some people. And this is probably my last run. It's up to 30 minutes and it's basically another spaz spaz random talk, but the moral of the story is, like, you guys can play whatever way you want. There is a ton of different players that do different things with Monster Strike. Like, it's not just about max lux and like rolling hatchers, getting max lux and doing it that way. Other people have their own ways of playing Monster Strike. I've seen like Bach mains. I've seen people like max lucking a full page of like Murasame because they like Murasame, like light Murasame, not the dark Murasame, like those types of things. Like, they will actively just farm like Murasame. There are like berry farmers, like legit berry. That's all they do. They don't care about max lux. They just spend all their stamina for temple, and then they just have like a full page of S++s. Like, I've seen people that do that, and it's just a matter of how you find your way of being entertained with this game. That's all the game really wants. It's not like there's no set path for you to do in this game. You just, although the game does recommend you to do this or that and stuff like that, but you can always deviate. It's not that as linear as some people think it is. And I should strike shot. Actually, it's Sunday use, so yes, Slayer. So that's good. But it's not as linear as people say it is or think it is. Like, you can just say, I don't care about max lux. I just want to beat all dungeons with 4 5-star monsters, and that's cool. And that's actually like really cool. Like, you should make a channel of that. I probably won't be doing that because I want to actually max luck. I don't want to waste all my time and stamina for that, because you might die a lot. But you know, if you want to do that, then by all means go for it. And you're not limited to just use your ores to roll hatcher and then farming max lux until the end of dawn. And I missed my strike shot, but I still did a lot of damage. And I am not going to attack Mr. Nabe. And I did. God dang it. What? This is the dungeon. Oh, And I thought I was going to be safe from that. But that's a lot of damage. How the hell? Well, I guess Sunny Yu was right under there. That took like both lasers at once. But you see 2 deaths. That's pretty uncommon for me, but I guess that's kind of fun. But that's pretty much it for me. I hope you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.